Media 21, where we talk hot topics, trending topics, what's going on in the news, in the media. We're going to just do some general topics in regards to what happened yesterday. May get into some snap, may get into a little Blueface. He's out. Him and Krishan are in the studio. But yeah, thanks for tuning in to Let's Talk About It Media 21. Don't forget to like, to subscribe, and hit the notification bell. I need to start telling people to hit the notification bell. So that way, when I go live, actually tune in. But yes, definitely like the video as you guys come in. Subscribe to the page. Thanks for being here and thanks for supporting. So let's go ahead, get straight into the video. Allow me a few moments to do my disclaimer. Protect my page always. But let me go ahead, get into the disclaimer. Um, Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news reporting, teaching, scholarships and research. Fair use is used permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. All comments are alleged, in our opinion, and for entertainment purposes only. Please, like button. Definitely hit the like button as you guys come in. As you're commenting, it helps if you hit the like button for sure. Okay, wait a minute. Okay, there we go. Okay, so let's go ahead, get into some hot topics, trending topics, what's being talked about, what many people are discussing. Um, there was different mayor races. A lot of the Democrats did a really good job in regards to winning. Different areas are being talked about. I think Detroit has a new mayor, New York. So many people are talking about the Democrats did really well. So let's go ahead and get into that right now. Like the videos, you guys come in. Thanks for being here.
Shutdown is now tying the record for the longest in U.S. history. Sources tell CNN that both the House and the Senate are discussing some bipartisan off-ramps. In the Senate, where Republicans need votes from Democrats, we're told negotiations include a new short-term funding bill and a promise of a standalone vote to extend health insurance subsidies. But given that there's no guarantee the vote on subsidies would actually pass the Senate, and even more so in the House, it's unclear whether enough Democrats will accept that. And then in the House, a group of 4 bipartisan lawmakers have announced a potential deal to extend the subsidies. Their plan would extend subsidies for 2 years, add an income cap between $200,000 and $400,000 for eligibility. It would also add more guardrails to prevent improper payments, but it's unclear if party leadership has signed off on the proposal. And just a short time ago, President Trump said he's withholding SNAP benefits until the shutdown is over. Doing that would not...
Did y'all realize that? He's holding benefits.
Only defy a court order, it would also deny tens of millions of Americans money that they use to buy food. Republican Congressman Kevin Kiley of California is with us now. Thank you so much for joining us in studio here, and a lot to talk about. But first off, this bipartisan framework in the House, talking about a way forward on the shutdown. Do you know if GOP leadership supports it? Do you support it?
I don't know about GOP leadership, but I'm actually releasing my own bipartisan framework that I've been working on with a colleague in California today, where we essentially endorse the general principles of that framework, namely that we need to have it be a temporary or limited duration extension. There needs to be cost controls, and then there needs to be some protections against improper payments. And so we're not putting in specific numbers because I think all of that is kind of subject to negotiation between the two parties and between the two houses, but I think that's generally the right approach.
Does this feel like a turning point to you?
I think we're getting closer to some signs of life, yes. And on both sides, the tenor of the conversations has changed.
Okay, so what about this Senate discussion? Because Democrats are weighing whether to accept a standalone vote on an extension of ACA subsidies, these health insurance subsidies. Is that something that you would back?
I think it makes sense. I mean, if the deal is, all right, we open the government and then everyone gets a chance to weigh in, up or down vote. Of course, the trick is what exactly is it we're going to vote on, because there's certain things that need to be negotiated within the parameters I just set out. But there, as I've been saying for a while now, there's interest on both sides in avoiding this cliff that's going to lead to a huge increase in premiums for our constituents. And so if that offers some pathway out of this terrible government shutdown that's having such escalating, compounding consequences, then that's something we should pursue.
SNAP benefits did not go out on the 1st, and then yesterday in a court filing, the U.S. In response to what two federal judges said, it will tap into that contingency fund for SNAP benefits to at least make partial food stamp payments this month. Then you heard what the president has now said on social media, quote, the SNAP benefits will be given only when the radical left Democrats open up government, which they can easily do and not before. That sounds like a reversal of what the USDA has said in this court filing. How are you reading that?
I'm extremely troubled by this. The fact that people who rely on these benefits to feed themselves and their family are not getting access to them because of the excessive partisanship here in Washington, D.C. It is a complete failure, and it's no wonder Congress has a 13% approval rating. When it comes to SNAP in particular, I've said that we need to pursue any and all avenues to make sure folks get their benefits. Number one, opening the government is the easiest way to do it. I've also co-sponsored a bill that would say you keep getting SNAP benefits even if the government isn't open. And I do think that the president now has, to the extent the legal authority exists, I think that I'm just seeing that truth post. I think that part of the issue is that it's administratively difficult to issue partial payments because this contingency fund doesn't have enough money in it even for 1 month of total payment.
There are rolling payments, though. I mean, it could also be easy to issue payments,
yeah,
right?
So to the extent it can be done, I think it needs to be done. People cannot be left without that.
So, but is he talking about defying a court order?
I don't think so. My understanding is that it's just pointing to the fact that it's administratively difficult, but if we had
where are you getting that from?
That's the explanation the White House set out.
Okay, so Prop 50, which is top of mind for you today. We're watching a lot of elections, but I know this is the one that you were watching most closely on the ballot in your state, which is threatening your very congressional seat. If it passes, it would very much change what your district looks like. And noteworthy that Texas, of course, did redraw its maps first, but the president is questioning at this point the validity of the actual ballot process in your state. He called the entire process a giant scam, but then said in particular the voting itself is rigged. Do you think the voting is rigged? And do you have any concerns? I mean, you need people to come out and support your side in this. Do you have any concerns that could actually make some people who you need to come to the ballots think twice about not coming?
Well, there's certainly room for improving our election process in California, and in this race, they did suspend a number of the voter protections. They made the process a lot more rushed, but that is what it is. The result tonight, we're going to get it around 11 o'clock Eastern time, and I'll certainly accept the result, and we'll go from there. I voted no, but we'll see what ends up happening. I think gerrymandering is wrong in California. It's wrong in Texas. It's wrong in any state where it's happening. And I think regardless of how this vote comes out in California tonight, we need a national solution to this issue to end gerrymandering in all 50 states.
You have confidence in the process in California right now, even if you might disagree with the outcome.
I certainly think there are things about our elections that can improve. I believe we need voter ID. I think things like ballot harvesting are problematic. The fact that people didn't get the full time you're usually supposed to get in an election year is problematic. But yes, the result will be what it is tonight.
Do you expect it to pass, the redistricting measure?
We'll see. The recent polls show that the yes side is up, but that's one snapshot in time. In California, we often see the no side and propositions gains momentum towards the end. And so I'm certainly hoping it doesn't. I want to continue to represent the beautiful 3rd District as it's currently drawn. But regardless of what happens, I'm confident I'll be able to win re-election to the House.
It is a beautiful district as currently drawn. I can attest to that. Congressman Kiley, thank you so much for being with us.
Of course.
Really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
We're keeping a close eye on the White House, where Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt was just asked about President Trump's threat to withhold SNAP benefits until the government reopens.
Remember, that is despite 2 judges last week ruling that the White House has to. They're forced to pay out what benefits they can out of a contingency fund. Here's how Leavitt responded.
Did the administration distribute that money or defy that court order?
No, the administration is fully complying with the court order. I just spoke to the president about it. The recipients of these SNAP benefits need to understand it's going to take some time to receive this money because the Democrats have forced the administration into a very untenable position. We are digging into a contingency fund that is supposed to be for emergencies, catastrophes, for war. And the president does not want to have to tap into this fund in the future. And that's what he was referring to in his Truth Social post. So the Department of Agriculture, as for the latest SNAP payment in the judge's order, has put out guidance to states today on how to get that money to the recipients of SNAP, but it's going to take some time.
Now, some 42 million Americans depend on SNAP. SNAP recipients are really on a roller coaster when it comes to whether they're going to get the funds they desperately need. President Trump posted today on Truth Social that those benefits are not going to be paid while the
Federal judges have ruled differently. On Friday, 2 ordered the White House is obligated to pay those benefits. Earlier today, though, Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt said the White House was complying with those orders, seeming to contradict the president's post. Listen.
Like the video, fair use, reaction clip. Didn't they say we had millions or billions in terrorist money put aside? Like the video. Didn't they say that this month, that there's millions or billions put aside because we have all this money now from the tariffs? Which one is it?
Understand it's going to take some time to receive this money because the Democrats have forced the administration into a very untenable position.
CNN's Kristen Holmes joins us now live at the White House. Kristen, not sure that actually clears up the confusion about whether those benefits are going to get paid or not.
Yeah, she was clearly trying to clarify or correct President Trump because we saw this enormous role reversal, this course correction that he had today on Truth Social, where he essentially threatened to withhold all of these SNAP benefits until the shutdown was over. But as you noted, this is coming after courts had ruled that some of those benefits still needed to be paid out. So Carolyn Levitt, they're talking about how she spoke to the president, saying that these benefits were still going to come because they are fully complying with the court. So unclear whether or not President Trump didn't understand what exactly was going on or was not read in on this court ruling. I mean, this is really throwing a lot of people into confusion, and their very livelihoods are at stake. Just a reminder, 42 million people in America receive those SNAP benefits, and this kind of jerking around is putting a lot of people at unease.
Like the video, like the video. Fair use reaction clip. Like the video as you guys come in. Thanks for being here. Thanks for supporting the channel. Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip. I want to do that later. Okay. Like the video as you guys come in. We're just doing some hot topics, trending topics. Like the video as you guys come in. Thanks for being here. Please hit the subscribe button as you guys come in. Let's continue. Let's continue.
By the government advanced in their reply brief is wrong, every which way.
I'm saying that's your sixth way of differentiating Yoshida, correct?
So
that was a war powers case.
So it's a war powers case about conquered territory. It has nothing to do whatsoever with domestic tariffs. And absolutely, you're right in saying that the way that court, even in those cases, even at the height of the government's power, war powers, they said Congress had to ratify it, and that's what page 96.
And that hasn't happened here.
That has not happened here, not even close.
Well, it might not with Congress closed, but they can't even think about it right now. I'm going to assume, and maybe he can shake his head yes or no, that Justice Kavanaugh will ask you to go to Algonquin, which you didn't answer, and he's shaking his head. So I'll let him do that part, okay?
Excellent. Algonquin, Your Honor, is, under...
No, I'll let him do it.
Oh, sorry.
That was his question, but I want to make sure you get to it.
We'll hear from Justice Kagan first.
I have one specific question, one more general question. The specific question is, does it matter in the way we think about IEPA, what Congress thought it was doing in IEPA, what IEPA in fact did, that at the time Congress thought it had available to it a legislative veto?
I do think it's relevant, at least for delegation purposes.
Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip. Like the video as you guys come in. Like the video as you guys come in.
Today is a great day. Today is a great day, and Donald Trump and Republicans are crashing out in real time because of the truly historic Democratic sweep that has taken place across our nation. Now, a compilation of some of the Republicans who are crashing out, but here is why. Mikey Sherrill, Democrat, won New Jersey. Abigail Spanberger, Democrat, won Virginia for governor. First, by the way, first woman to ever win that. Democrats flipped the Virginia lieutenant governor. They flipped the attorney general in Virginia. They also flipped a bunch of smaller down ballot races, the Georgia Public Service Commission, the Georgia Public Service Commission again. They also flipped the Orlando City Commission twice. So this has been a sweep all across the country. Of course, Zohran Mamdani, first Muslim mayor, 33, not the youngest, but a young mayor. And we are just now hearing that California has approved redistricting. The Prop 50 has passed. And look at these margins. Look at these margins. 63% voted for Prop 50. There's a 13% margin here for Abigail Spanberger. 15% for Abigail Spanberger. It's just insane. It has been a complete repudiation of Donald Trump. It's very exciting. It's very exciting stuff. And that is why, my friends.
Like the video, fair use reaction clip. Let's continue. What happened yesterday?
My friends. Republicans and Cuomo, who's not, I guess, a Republican, but an independent, who's endorsed by a bunch of Republicans, are crashing out. Here's some of it. And then after this, Donald Trump posts Donald Trump is the king of crashing out, and he is crashing out in real time, posting nonstop. I've got that coming up.
Congratulations to Zoran Mandami. You can't imagine how disappointed I am. This is a horrible blow.
I honestly feel bad. I have friends of mine in New York. My phone is blowing up. They are officially depressed and scared.
And this was also a hostile takeover by the Democratic Socialists of America.
And this is a crazy situation. It's a very, very sad night.
Made him the stylish candidate as
Exactly.
well.
The rapping video.
The cool kid.
Older people. This isn't just Gen Z or
I
Gen
agree.
X.
I agree with that.
Boomers and that kind of thing.
Yeah, I see this as a disaster for New York City. And
Zoran Mandami. All right. Well, I want to bring in our panel. They'll cheer me up.
I love it. I love it. Tears all around for MAGA. Now, Donald Trump, as I said, is just going on a tear. Let us refresh and see if there's been more posts since these are the ads you get on Donald Trump's blog, True Social. It's not a social media website. He's the only one that uses it. It's a blog. And he is crashing out, posting things. I mean, he posted just out 60 Minutes interview of Donald Trump on CBS Tonight was the highest rated 60 Minutes in years. Okay, good to know. Nothing else happening today, I guess. Nothing else important happening today. That's the most important thing for the president to post. Now, of course, he also said this: Republicans terminate the filibuster, get back to passing legislation and voter reform, President Day, DJT. So what he's saying here is Donald Trump's like, listen, we can't win on our ideas. We can't actually persuade voters to vote for us. Actually, the things we do are very unpopular. Donald Trump is the most unpopular he's ever been in his entire life. That's counting his first term, directly after January 6th was his lowest. He's lower than that now. So Donald Trump knows Republicans can't win elections. They can't. This is proof. Look at those margins. We got to make this too big to rig because they're going to try to rig it. Donald Trump's saying here, terminate the filibuster, pass voter reform. You know what that means. So we're going to make it. So this is a great day, but we're going to have some work ahead of us. I believe we're going to make it. We're going to achieve something great, but we do have work ahead of us. Now Donald Trump kept going and said, pass voter reform, voter ID. No mail-in ballots, save our Supreme Court from packing, no two-state edition, etc., terminate the filibuster. So he's laying out what he wants to do. He wants to try to steal the next election. Are you going to let him? I'm not going to let him. He also said this. He said Trump wasn't on the ballot. Down were the two reasons that Republicans lost elections tonight. So Donald Trump's like, not my fault, not my fault, everyone else's fault but my own. Of course, Donald Trump's actions are the reason why this happened. Do you think Virginia, the largest employer in the country is the federal government? I believe the largest employer in Virginia is the federal government. Between Doge, the government shutdown, and the way that they have just been cutting jobs in Virginia, do you think that more had an effect on what happened here tonight? I kind of do. This is all directly because of Donald Trump's actions. That's what I believe. Now, here's what AOC had to say, and then I have Zoran's response to Cuomo.
Trump has long threatened to pull funding from this city. We know that there's a plan to bring more ICE agents here soon. And he's been very clear about the fact he endorsed Cuomo last night in the 11th hour. Are you at all afraid of what that fight is going to look like in the coming week?
Okay, gotta move forward because they have music. Well, hold on. Let me go past that, though. Let me see if I can go past.
And we have to understand, respond to that threat with
that down. That's exactly what we need to do. We need to build a coalition of decent working class Americans who are focused on making things better for Americans, fighting against fascism. And if you're not on board, get out of the way. That's how I feel. If you're not on board, get out of the way. That's kind of how Zoran feels too. Here's what he said directly to Andrew Cuomo during his acceptance speech.
We have toppled a political dynasty. I wish Andrew Cuomo only the best in private life. But let tonight be the final time I utter his name. As we turn the page on a politics that abandons the many and answers only to the few.
I am pumped up. Are you pumped up? I am pumped the F up. Let us take this energy and go straight into next November where we will need it. Donald Trump, as he's saying with these posts, going to become more deranged and offensive, and their attacks on our democracy are going to become more extreme. But let's make it too big to rig. I want to steal the MAGA saying. They said it about a lie. We're going to say it about the truth. We're going to make next year too big to rig. We're going to make sure that Democrats come out in numbers just like today, maybe even bigger, to show that when we fight, we win.
Like the video, fair use, reaction clip. Like the video as you guys come in. Hold on one second.
material that
Like the video as you guys come in. Let the commercial go past.
Donald Trump, obviously feeling the heat, took to Truth Social with the most desperate of deflections, writing, quote, Trump wasn't on the ballot and shutdown were the two reasons that Republicans lost elections tonight, according to pollsters. Isn't it so telling that when the guy in charge has the opportunity to take responsibility for how he's leading his own party, where the literal president of the United States gets to say that the buck stops with him, and the very first thing he does is to diffuse responsibility off of himself and cast the blame on everyone else? I mean, how fucking fitting
Dot,
that
dot,
after
dot,
absolute
dot, dot.
shellacking at the ballot box as a direct referendum on Donald Trump, Trump's response is to pretend that he shoulders none of the blame whatsoever. For a self-proclaimed alpha, this guy could not be more of a little bitch.
Dot, 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 dot. Y'all know Brian. Brian don't hold back. Brian Cohen. Let's continue.
Trump is never going to be on the ballot again. So how is Trump not being on the ballot in 2025 different from 2026 or 2028? How does that help him or Republicans at any point moving forward? There's never going to be a point at which he is on the ballot. So that would suggest that Republicans are never going to succeed again. Trump himself doesn't need to be on the ballot here. Trumpism was on the ballot. I mean, just be... Is the Republican Party anything other than its blind allegiance to one man, Donald Trump? Is there any meaningful pushback to Trump whatsoever? Has anyone stood up to him on anything? Is there any legitimate opposition to him on healthcare, on food stamps, on his corruption? Has a single fucking Republican said that he maybe shouldn't be trying to take $230 million from the Department of Justice? Of course not. This entire party is nothing more than an appendage of Trump. And so the notion that he isn't on the ballot is an absolute farce. So long as the entire Republican Party refuses to distance itself from him, so long as the entire Republican Party acts as a wholly owned subsidiary of him, he is on the ballot. And the second point on this tweet, the shutdown, okay, well, let's see. Who controls the U.S. government? Who runs the House? Who runs the Senate? Who runs the White House? Might the fact that the government can't stay open have something to do with the fact that the party in complete control of the government cannot manage to keep it open? And don't take my word for it. Check out this tweet from House Republicans from 2021. Quote, last time we checked, the Democrats controlled the House, Senate, and White House. If there is a government shutdown, it's because of Democrats. Their words, not mine. And by the way, it's worth noting why there's a shutdown in the first place. It is because Republicans want to take away your health care, and Democrats are using what little leverage they have to protect it. If the Republicans had their way, the ACA subsidies that we all rely on to keep our health care prices low would go away, and your health care costs would double or triple or quadruple or more. And that's not hyperbole. Senator Ruben Gallego from Arizona posted the 2025 cost compared with the 2026 cost from one of his constituents, whose monthly premium is set to rise from $514 a month to $2,435 per month.
Wow.
In other words, an extra $24,000 a year, basically another mortgage, all because Republicans are hell-bent on destroying the ACA and frankly don't give a shit what happens next because they had 15 years to come up with an alternative to the ACA and they still have nothing. And yet despite the pathetic diffusion of responsibility from Trump, he wasn't done yet. He then took to Truth Social minutes later, writing, just out, the 60 Minutes interview of Donald J. Trump on CBS Sunday night was the highest rated 60 Minutes in years. I'm sorry, but do you realize what just happened here? Trump was feeling insecure as the result of these election results that were a referendum on him, and so he needed to pump himself up by tweeting out something complimentary about himself. I mean, dear God, if this guy was any more insecure, he'd hire someone to applaud every time he entered a room. And by the way, while we're on the subject of 60 Minutes, that would be the program where he said this.
he pled guilty in 2023 to violating anti-money laundering laws.
Right.
The government at the time said that CZ had caused significant harm to U.S. national security, essentially by allowing terrorist groups like Hamas to move millions of dollars around. Why did you pardon him?
Okay, are you ready? I don't know who he is. I know he got a 4-month sentence or something like that, and I heard it was a Biden witch hunt.
In 2025, his crypto exchange Binance helped facilitate a $2 billion purchase of World Liberty Financial's stablecoin. And then you pardoned CZ. How do you address the appearance of pay for play?
Well, here's the thing. I know nothing about it because I'm too busy doing the other.
But
I can only tell you
I
can only tell you this. My sons are into it. I'm glad they are because it's probably a great industry, crypto. I think it's good. You know, they're running a business. They're not in government.
Yeah, just a casual admission that Trump doesn't even know who he's pardoning, which of course has left his Republican colleagues looking like absolute fools when they're questioned about it.
The quickest lash
Like the video, fair use. Yeah, where's the files? That's the big question. All these distractions.
No trimming, no glue, and no mess. The body heat activated lash band is reusable and it's super comfortable on the eye. It gives you this snatched
Good morning, good morning.
Of course has left his Republican colleagues looking like absolute fools when they're questioned about it.
Last week, you came here to these mics and you were
Sorry, good afternoon. It's afternoon now.
very critical of Joe Biden's the automatic pardon. He said he didn't even know he was pardoning. The last time in 60 Minutes, President Trump, he did it not knowing he pardoned
crypto billionaire guilty to money laundering. Is that also concerning?
I don't know anything about that. I didn't see the interview. You have to ask the president about that. I'm not sure. Yes, ma'am.
So if that's the kind of thing Trump wants to brag about, be my guest. And in fact, in retrospect, perhaps that overt corruption wasn't the best closing message heading into an election. Perhaps voters don't appreciate the naked self-dealing from this White House, the relentless focus on crypto dinners where you doubled your net worth, the remodeling of the Lincoln bathroom and posted 25 pictures of it, the demolition of the East Wing for your own $350 million ballroom, a new jet retrofitted to the tune of $1 billion paid for by American taxpayers, and of course, covering the Oval Office in enough gold that it looks like Liberace threw up all over it. All the while, regular Americans, the people you swore you'd help, are watching their costs rise, are watching their healthcare get stripped away, are watching their food assistance get gutted, inflation surge, manufacturing die on the vine, and job anemic. Perhaps the American people aren't as dumb as you thought they were, which might explain tonight's results. New Jersey electing a Democratic governor by a 13-point margin, Virginia electing a Democratic governor by a 15-point margin, along with a Democratic lieutenant governor and attorney general, and flipping more than a dozen seats in the House of Delegates, Pennsylvania retaining its 5-2 Democratic majority on the state Supreme Court, Georgia electing 2 Democrats to statewide offices for the first time in more than 20 years, New York City electing a Democratic mayor with the largest turnout in decades, Democrats flipping 2 seats in the Mississippi Senate, breaking the GOP supermajority in the chamber, and of course passing Prop 50 by a massive margin in California, offering political cover to other Democrats across the country to do the exact same thing in light of these map redraws at the hands of Republican states. Trump may view himself as a king, but he and his party of chicken shit enablers learned a quick lesson in democracy tonight. And given the fact that Trump is incapable of humility and incapable of ever admitting fault, the pain only promises to be worse for Republicans come midterms 1 year from now.
Like the video, fair use reaction clip. Like the video as you guys come in. Don't forget to hit subscribe, you guys. Don't forget to hit subscribe. Continue to hit the like button, everyone. Continue to hit the like button. Let's continue. Let's continue. Hold up, it's on my other one. But for me to play it, I need to play it over here. Let's see. Like the videos, you guys come in. Hold on one second. All right.
Late last night, watching election results, in a flurry of rambling social media posts, he weighed in on why Republicans lost across the board. Just after 10 p.m. Eastern, Trump offered this excuse for the sweeping nationwide GOP losses, writing, quote, "Trump wasn't on the ballot, and shutdown were the 2 reasons that Republicans lost elections tonight." About an hour later, he posted again, calling for the passage of so-called voter reform, pushing for voter ID laws, ending mail-in voting, and eliminating the filibuster. During New York City Mayor-elect Zohran Mamdani's victory speech, Trump also posted in all caps, "And so it begins." Meanwhile, the official White House Instagram account posted a modified version of the Knicks logo that read, "Trump is your president," presumably a reaction to Mamdani's win. And we saw Mamdani was pretty defiant when talking about Trump last night. But today in Washington, a big case about Trump and one of his signature policies, because the Supreme Court will hear oral arguments in the case of Trump's use of emergency powers to enact sweeping tariffs on U.S. trade partners. The case is going to have major implications on America's economic policy and also test the bounds of executive authority. While the Republican majority court has often ruled in favor of the president, legal experts say this could be a toss-up. The Constitution gives Congress the power to impose taxes, but soon after taking office, Trump declared that a 1977 law gave him the power to impose tariffs unilaterally during emergencies. The statute gives the president certain tools to deal with any unusual and extraordinary threat to the national security, foreign policy, or economy of the United States. That includes the power to regulate imports. The president's lawyers say that language gives him broad authority to impose tariffs when he believes an emergency exists. And therein is the crux of the Supreme Court's problem. MSNBC legal affairs reporter Fallon Gallagher joins me here on set. She has, of course, been following this case. You're going to go to the Supreme Court a little later this morning. Can you explain what we expect to hear today, what we're watching for as this begins?
Yeah, Allie, so just like you touched on it, the president's argument here is that this is a national emergency. And because it's a national emergency, he, as the president of the United States, has the authority to impose these tariffs as he chooses. Now, a lot of the critics here are saying, a trade deficit does not constitute a national emergency.
Yeah, I was going to say, is getting ripped off a national emergency?
No, and quite frankly, on the converse side of that, the small businesses who have sued in this case are saying that these tariffs are a national emergency for their businesses, for their companies, for the consumers, for the American consumer who this tax will also pass on to. So those people are saying that not only is this an emergency for them, and that's why they've sued, but that this is a separation of powers issue, that Congress is the one who has the authority to implement these tariffs, not the president unilaterally, and that, quite frankly, to them, this is like taxation without representation, which you'll remember we fought a whole entire war about.
I think I read something about that.
Yeah, so, these people are really, really upset, and they think that they have a strong case here, and they thought, why not me? So that's why they're suing here.
So that's why they're the in this case. And we've even seen some members of Congress in the Senate, they're largely messaging votes because they're not going anywhere. But when it
it comes to specific tariffs and other trade policies that the president has done, you've even seen in bipartisan fashion some rebukes, some uncomfortability with the way that this White House has done them unilaterally without bringing in Congress. So I think the open question here for a court that gave the president broad immunity, is this a moment for them to finally say there is a limit to how much we will allow this president to do? Well, and that's what's really interesting here. This is the same court that last year granted President Trump, this same sitting president, immunity to do as he chooses. Yep. Now, what's really interesting here is that this case came through that emergency docket, which we've been talking about, that shadow docket a lot, where things are fast-tracked and maybe sent back down to the lower court. Now, this is the second time that justices have said, you know what, we're not just going to rule on this with an unsigned brief order. We actually want to hear arguments on that. And so that's kind of, if I'm paying attention closely, that's what makes me think that this could be different, and perhaps this is the time where they could say, no, you know, maybe that's too far. I mean, you have to remember, this is the John Roberts court, and this is a court that's skeptical of too much government overreach. But then at the same time, you have justices like Brett Kavanaugh, who have been supporters of broad presidential authority. So I think it'll be really interesting to see who questions what today, and I'll be inside the court looking. I'll be paying very close attention to Justice Barrett, who sometimes has a tendency to swing from the rest of the justices. But really, we won't know probably in the immediate future how they're going to go. This is something that we might not actually know the answer to until June. Well, I was going to say, because the timeline on this is so important, given the fact that Trump is actively negotiating what he's calling trade deals, what are actually more like handshake trade agreements. But the fact that other countries are going to have to abide by whatever these levels are that he's been setting, whether it's 10% or 15%, 57%, I mean, there's so many numbers across the board depending on which country you're talking about. There's real implications, not just for those countries and their relations with the U.S., but for the consumer who's like, okay, where's my stuff coming from and how much am I paying for it? So when might we actually see a decision? Yeah, well, I mean, so now that this is on the merits docket, it's not going to be one of those cases where we get an immediate decision that just might pop up in my email, brief unsigned order. This is something that we will likely get on a decision day. And as we've seen, this is a blockbuster case this term, which I want to make that abundantly clear. This is probably the biggest case on their docket right now. Historically, they've waited until the end of the term, that late June, early July, to release those big headline decisions. So it could be then, it could be earlier. I mean, they fast-tracked this to get it on the schedule. This is one of the earliest dates. You'll remember that the Supreme Court started its term in October. It's November 5th today, so they are moving kind of quickly. We just don't know, though. I mean, it's probably going to be, I would say, January at the very earliest. The very earliest. It leaves a major economic piece of it.
Okay, so let's go ahead and do hot topics, trending topics. Him on 60 Minutes. I guess they're reporting Sean Diddy Combs marks his 56th birthday. He's behind bars. We'll go ahead and listen. Oh, it's just that. So yeah, I guess they're stating that it's Diddy's birthday today, y'all. Are people sending well wishes? If you guys are just now coming in, he has been moved to Fort Dix. There are pictures out there in regards to him smiling, standing around talking with guys. They're in their gray pants and black and white shoes or whatever outfit he chose. But yeah, it's his birthday. Either this was yesterday or today. Let me see, when was this posted? 4 hours ago. So yeah, it's his birthday. Blueface apologizes to the guy he had the situation with. I'm not going to play the clip. Will he get those tattoos removed off his face? And why does he have so many tattoos on his face? Wasn't bad looking, not handsome, but wasn't bad looking before he went in. But now his face has all these tattoos on him. Ugh. I guess Courtney is basically saying she'll work maybe once a week or once a month, just depending on. Kashawn Rock is trending because she is doing what she does. So if you did not know, Kashawn Rock's been hanging out with Blueface. This is them in the studio. I'm not going to play the clip. I guess he's been asking her about who she's been dating, and she's trying to get his attention, and they've been going back and forth. I guess, I don't know if he's dating someone, but it did come up in regards to, I also realized, what you had going on while I was inside. Blueface wants to trend, and who is he going to trend with more? Kashawn. So toxic. I don't really do reality shows. I think his mom has a reality show. So right now we're just doing hot topics, trending topics. He knows who's going to help him trend. And it's Kashawn.
Hello?
Yeah, Kashawn's going to help him trend to get into the media. Diddy's birthday. We're just doing some hot topics, trending topics. It's being reported that Kim is stating she did not pass because she used ChatGPT. What? So remember how Kim was getting all that backlash in regards to putting North in unflattering outfits? Kim decided to state that she should be getting her results shortly and she feels that she passed. Now it's allegedly being reported that she did not pass. And then it's being reported on TMZ. TMZ did a post talking about um uh Kim Kardashian Kim Kardashian new show. I guess they're saying Kim Kardashian's new show has tanked. I'm not interested in watching. We already know that alleged the Kardashian numbers also might be down. I don't normally see too many talk about the Kardashians numbers, but I guess she has a new show. Not interested in watching, but she is doing interviews with the women from that show. That's how she's trying to trend now. Is from the women on the show. That's how she's trying to trend. Okay, let's continue. This is Bianca. This is about the only picture I can show. I did a video in regards to Kim likes to copy. Kim likes to copy Kanye's exes. Kim definitely likes to copy Kanye's exes. Bianca being one of them. Go look at Bianca's outfits from about a year and a half ago. Kim did a collab recently. Some of those outfits are very similar. So is she copying Kanye and Bianca? This is literally the only one I can show. I saw another picture of Bianca and I didn't see Kanye. Where's Kanye? Where is Kanye? And then I'm trying to figure out when's the last time we saw Kanye. So you got Candace Owens talking about Kanye, and you got Kim talking about Kanye, and Kanye has not spoke up. Where's Kanye? So Donald Trump reacts to um, he reacts to Republicans losing the election across the country. He didn't seem happy. Many people said he was tweeting and tweeting and tweeting and didn't stop tweeting. Okay, this is the guy that used to date Krishan, and he showed pictures, and I'm gonna be general, showed pictures of her kissing on his feet. I just showed it, but I swiped away. So yeah, they were trending last month in regards to them dating. And then we're gonna see, oh yeah, yesterday, RIP to the people from the UPS cargo plane crashed. RIP to the people that have passed away. 11 injured, and it's being reported that either, I don't want to talk about the ones that passed. I don't want to do that. It seems as if Blueface is spending time with Junior, which is good. He's standing up in the playpen. I'm not gonna really show her child like that, but yeah, people are saying Trump is not going to reinstate the SNAP benefits, which is concerning for many families. And if you guys did not see my short, go look at the short regarding that. Even though the courts has stated that he should reinstate, I think they're still holding it. So many people were supposed to allegedly get a partial, but I think he wants to hold it until the shutdown is over. He wants everything to be reopened for him to reinstate. I told y'all, she wants everybody to celebrate her. That's what that picture shows right now. She wants people to celebrate her. It's all about her. It's all about her. So if these women can help her trend, she wants to utilize them to help them trend. If the show is allegedly tanking, what does that do for a lot of the people's careers? Have any of you watched the show? I don't plan on it. But yeah, this is what Kim likes. She wants people to celebrate her. She likes to trend. She likes to go viral. She likes to be around people that can help her trend and go viral. He won New York. Some people are saying prayers for New York. Some people are saying that we'll see what happens in the next year or so. This is what Krishan Rock looked like years ago. My, how she has changed. And what is about her and Blueface with all these tattoos on the face? Look how young and innocent she looked. But a lot of times people are saying whenever she goes somewhere, it's drama and conflict and it's very toxic. Blueface mom spoke out. Go check out my short regarding that. Blueface mom thought about Krishan in regards to what she did this week. I can't confirm or deny, but she says she's going to post text messages in regards to Blueface mom in between Blueface and Krishan. She says she's going to show those posts. Let's continue. Donald Trump. Donald Trump and his messages. That's what everybody was talking about. This is Blueface before he went in, and this is what he looks like now. They're talking about him working out and how he wants to stay healthy. He doesn't want to drink smoke, but he probably can't drink or smoke. He probably has probation. But this is what he looked like before he went in. Now he has all those tattoos on his face. He does not look good at all. Not that he looked great, 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 but he didn't look all that bad. But now he don't look that. He's gained a lot of weight too. Let me see. Is there anything else I want to talk about? I'm making it short today. I guess this is the house that they utilize for the show. Not gonna really show that, but yeah, Blueface is training with DDG. So that's it, everybody. I'm gonna do a quick show today. I've had a busy morning, so copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news reporting, teaching, scholarships and research. Fair use is used permitted by a copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. All comments are alleged, in our opinion, and for entertainment purposes only. Thanks for being here. Thanks for supporting the show. Everyone have a great day. Be blessed. Goodbye. Focus on healthy, safe relationships. Be around people that's loving, kind, and respectful. Goodbye.